Hello, everyone. Welcome to RoundTable DTU. Consulting has always been an attractive career option for both undergrads and MBAs. If you are planning to have a career in consulting, industry-oriented mentorship from an experienced professional is necessary to develop a suitable learning trajectory. To our rescue, Mr. Priyank Ahuja, who is an ISB and NUS alum with a rich experience of working across various verticals, has come to deliver a webinar today. Mr. Priyank Ahuja is a gifted orator who has been a speaker in various forums and mentored students across different domains. He has been working as a product manager at Accenture for over 3 years now, and he would like to share his 2 cents about consulting today. Now, I would like to request Sir to please introduce himself.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay. So just want to ask one thing. How many of the participants are there who have attended my previous session? Just write in the chat window, please. I get only one response from Kabir. Okay. Priyanshu is also there. Nitin. Surya. Okay. Anyone else? Okay, so a couple of participants are still same. Okay, glad to see you again in this session. Thank you so much. So without wasting the further time, let me start the session now. Thank you for joining the session. So let's start our session now. So the topic for the today is pathway to consulting, because as I came to know that consulting is the best career option applicable in the DTU. Okay. Okay, so let me share the session agenda, what we are going to cover in the session. So first I will quickly share about the overview of the consulting. Then I will discuss about the recruitment procedure of the consulting firms. Then I will share the facts related to the resume, which the certain points you need to consider in mind while using the resume. And then I will discuss about the analogies used in the cases, the three different words which are used interchangeably with each other, like case statement, case interview, and case competition. Then I will discuss about the cases, case solving approach, and then I will discuss about the guesstimate solving approach. And I will take up one or two guesstimate in this session based upon the time factor. So let me introduce first about the overview on the consulting. So consulting is all about your problem solving. Just like you have certain problems in your hand and you have to solve within the specific time frame. Just like in your personal life, who is the best consultant? It can be anyone. Even doctor is also a consultant. Your parents is also a consultant. Even your mentor is also a consultant. So whenever you are stuck up in certain situations, you always approach any of these three and they will provide you certain recommendations. And once you implement it, your problem get automatically solved. So they are the best example of the consultant. Similarly, in case of the industry, when you are working with any corporate, then the corporates are facing any problem, then you are directly dealing with the leadership team, and then you will automatically deep dive the problem and then you can solve it. Okay. Now, one thing I would like to tell you here is that these problems are not simple. These are very complicated problems, sometimes very typical problems. And this problem needs to be deep dive with the help of discussion with the multiple stakeholders. And that's why you require a high level of visibility, communication, stakeholder management, and high level of analytical reasoning skills. That's why this role demands such kind of expertise. And in this consulting, you have multiple service areas. And the most important service area, which is very lucrative career option with everyone is strategy consulting. In the strategy consulting, you directly dealing with the corporate to analyze which option is important for me, whether I have to merge a company, acquire a company, or I need to enter into the new marketplace. Suppose right now you are doing the business in AdTech. Now you want to enter into, suppose, healthcare, pharma, or consumer electronics. What will be your strategy? How you can penetrate in the market and how you can acquire those clients. That will be dealt by the strategy consulting. Second is your operations consulting, in which you directly deal with the manufacturing organizations to analyze their supply chain, to analyze their improvement of efficiency and effectiveness of that particular domain. Third is your human resource consultant, in which you are directly dealing with the employee-related issues. Means how you can improve the productivity of the employee, how you can improve the L&D engagement within the employees, or how you can improve the policies of the company so that they will be happy while working with the organization. That kind of issues will be tackled by the human resource consultant. Or we also have financial advisor consultant also, who are actually directly dealing with the corporate taxation, actuarial valuation, risk management, and forensic audits. So the main agenda for them is how to improve the profitability and how to cut down the operational cost. And lastly, we have the tech consulting, which is very important for the engineers, how you can create such products which can improve the profitability, generate more revenue, and improve the customer satisfaction. Just like providing data analytics solution, cybersecurity, system integration, and these kind of things fall under tech consulting. Now, when you join as a management consulting firm, you can be absorbed in any of these three verticals, any of these 5 verticals. But as an engineer, if you don't do MBA, then directly you will be fall either in the tech consulting or in the operations consulting. Whereas if you do the MBA, then definitely you can explore other 3 options as well. So that was the overview about the consulting. Coming to that, why the guys are crazy about joining the consulting. There are multiple reasons are involved. First is, as you know, it is an intellectually rewarding career option. The starting pay scale is very, very high, especially at engineer level also and MBA level also. And why it is very high? Because you got high ownership of work and huge level of soft skill development, because you're directly interacting with the leadership team and your visibility rate is very high. And as you get selected with the rigorous selection process, definitely you will get a chance to work with those clean resources. So you will get ample amount of stakeholders who are equally qualified just like you, and you will get a diversified employees to work along with you. And you will also get a high pay and the perks. The starting salary is around 10 to 15 lakhs for as an engineer level, and for the MBA it goes from 35 to 50 lakhs sometimes, depending upon the organization, depending upon the role you are performing with that. And lastly, if you want to take an exit from the consulting firm, then what are the career options available? Either you can join any corporate firm, but the minimum level they can offer you is general manager or director level. Or you can join as a private equity consultant or venture capitalist, or directly associated with government as a public policy consultant. Or most important is you understand the business very well, so you become a successful entrepreneur. But grass is not green on the other side, it will be different. But you should be mentally, physically prepared for the travel. And travel is very high. If company is rewarding you so much salary, definitely they will demand certain expectations from your side. So the main expectation is you're traveling, and this traveling sometimes is very, very hectic. Second is you will have a rigorous work schedule. You cannot assume that you will get a work-life balance, that I can start my work at 9 o'clock and after 6 o'clock, I don't have any work. This answer is absolutely wrong. So you can expect demanding role, especially beyond 12 hours to 15 hours of work also. And sometimes it will be very, very hectic. You will not be able to have a conversation with your friends, your family members, and you will wait for the weekend come up, then you can have a conversation or discussion with that. So you have to prepare for the travel as well as the rigorous work schedule in order to get this lucrative career options in the consulting. Coming to the typical consultant calendar. So how's your typical week will look like? So Monday and Fridays are generally involved in the traveling. Right now it is not happening because of the COVID, but usually it is happening. And you have to work in a smaller team which is led by the EM, that is engagement manager, and your team size is limited to 3 to maximum 5 members. But most of the events are happening at the dining table or engagement activities or the networking opportunities. Means you are interacting with the client on the dining table also. That's how you have a huge scope of networking opportunities. And it is easy for you to navigate from one career path to another path with the help of these kind of engagement activities. So most of the time, either you are sitting at the client location or either you have an opportunity under the networking events. That's how the typical calendar of the consultant will look like. But to be honest, I would like to communicate here is that you will get immense learning opportunity while being engaged with such diversified stakeholders, and you will be at the top visibility in terms of the management. That's why people are crazy to join the consulting firms. Now, if you start your career in consulting, how your career progression will look like. So you will start your career as first as business analyst. Some companies are giving the title as strategy analyst or consulting analyst, but grade is same, and this is a pre-MBA position. But your focus should be on data analysis and gathering, and you should be expert in analysis of the data captured through multiple chunks, but basic understanding about your tool like R, Python, SQL, and SQL is required. They generally expect. On top of that, you should have a structured problem-solving skills also required. After 2 to 3 years down the line, you will be promoted to associate or consultant level. But here now you will start analyzing the data and contribute your efforts with the manager. Or if you do MBA, then you will be directly get this particular role. But without MBA, it's very difficult to grow further after associate or consultant level. But if you do the MBA, then after 3 years down the line, you will be promoted to the EM, that is engagement manager. Few companies are offering the role of project lead or consulting manager. But here you are end-to-end responsible for leading the project with respect to the client, and you are managing the team also. Another 3 to 4 years down the line, you will be promoted to the principal or director. But this is a pre-partner role, and now you are associating with multiple projects under the similar client. And lastly, you will get promoted to the partner level, which is a leadership role in which you are accountable for dealing with multiple relationships so that you can drive the firm equity and firm strategy. So that is the maximum role available in the consulting firm. Next is the most important and crucial part is hiring process. First of all, you need to understand if you are interested in joining the consulting firms, then what exactly the recruitment team look for in the candidate. They check 3 types of skills. First is the problem solving skills. This can be judged in 2 ways. First, through your CV, and second, in your case interviews. Through your CV, it will be judged if you showcase what type of diversified projects you carried out. Suppose your branch is mechanical, and suppose as a mechanical engineering branch, suppose you did projects in finance, or suppose in analytics, or suppose in computer science, or suppose you did project in consulting, then this will add a lot of value. Similarly, in the case interview, it will be judged how you crack the cases and how you crack the guesstimates. That's how this skill will be judged. Second skill is soft skill, which will be judged only during the interview, but how you can communicate the answer, how you have worked with the team, and how you give the responses based upon the behavioral questions. That kind of skills will be judged during the interview. And the last and the most important is leadership skills will be judged again in 2 ways. First through CV, secondly in the interview. So what type of position you hold? Suppose you are the president of RoundTable Society. As a president, what you did, how many events you organized, what was the engagement level, what was the engagement percentage, what was the satisfaction rate, and how many type of speakers you bring up, what is the variety of the topics you conducted, and how as a president you have uplift the students to the next level, or how much you can say satisfaction rate has been achieved. You have to quantify the impact. Similarly, it will be judged when you are preparing for the interviews, and during the interview they will ask question, tell me the biggest regret about your life, tell me the biggest challenge you faced and how you overcome, tell me a situation when the team was not having a consensus with you and how you convinced them, tell me about a situation when you have taken the biggest decision in your life which initially create a negative impact, but later on it was successful. These kind of stress-related questions will be asked, which check your leadership skills. So that is about hiring process. Let's understand the recruitment process in more detail. So skills are three: leadership skills, soft skills, and problem-solving skills. But how they are actually recruiting? There are three types of firms are there in consulting: Big Three, Big Four, and tech consulting. Big Three means three firms are there: McKinsey, BCG, Bain. Big Four contains EY, PwC, Deloitte, and KPMG. In tech consulting, you have Accenture, Cognizant, Wipro, and Cognizant, and Infosys. These and AT&T also sometimes covered under tech consulting. So these are the three categories of the consulting firms which are coming under there. And these days, a lot of startups are also offering the consulting services. So let's understand about the recruitment procedure. There are three types of procedure involved. First, if the companies are visiting your campus, then it is called as target school procedure. If companies are not visiting your campus, it is called as non-target school procedure. And suppose if you want to get into role after a certain point of time as a lateral hire, then it will be called as experienced hiring. Let's discuss one by one. So as DTU coming under the direct target school because companies are visiting your campus, so this is applicable for you. So how it is possible? They directly arrive at your campus, they collect the CV, and based upon the CV, they will shortlist you based upon certain parameter. Now the parameter should be your high GPA or high percentage, scholastic achievement throughout, what type of position of responsibility you hold, in fact, amazing work experience captured through you can CAT and GMAT score if it is applicable if you are applying for the B school. That's how it will be important for you. Okay, but the recruitment procedure, recruitment teams actually assign a buddy partner with you. So that once they shortlist the CV, they will assign a buddy to directly work with you to conduct mock interviews and to help you end to end so that you can fully prepared before entering into the interview room. So these consulting firms actually help you to prepare you as much as possible before entering the consulting interview room. That is the procedure for target school. Let's understand about the next topic, that is non-target school, when companies are not visiting your campus. In that case, you have to apply only in two different ways, either through employee referral or either through LinkedIn. You can forward your resume, but the competition is tougher now because you are targeting with the open pool of multiple candidates. So chances are reduced, but still you have the eligibility. And the third is your lateral hiring procedure or experience process. Suppose you started your career into 2 years. Suppose if you work in as a coder or technical role, but thereafter you jump into a non-technical role, then you can be treated as an experienced professional. But now the procedure is changed. Number of rounds will be increased. Initially there were 5 rounds. Now you have to compete in 7 different rounds. And you will be judged based upon your past experience. And you have to apply for those practices which is matching with the past experience. Just like suppose if the past experience is on financial advisory role, then you can apply for finance practices only. If suppose previous experience in the data analytics, then you can apply for digital practices only. That's how you will be evaluated. And that's how the recruitment procedure for target, non-target, and experienced professionals is all about. So far, any doubt, please do let me know. Any doubt so far?
So what kind of PORs will be valuable for our CVs for target school category?
Those who create impact, what type of valuable work you have carried out, only those POR will be valuable. Suppose if you are just a title carrying the president, but as a president you didn't take any initiative or you didn't explain your experience as a president, then it will be 0. So title doesn't matter. The most important point is as a president or as a committee member, what actions you have incorporated and what value you have bring on the table to the student, the community, and the society as well as the institute. So you have to be very specific what value you are bringing and what value you have bring in the past. If there is no value, then it will not be considered. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So let's understand about the next part, that is the resume. First, you have to prepare the resume because 97% elimination happening with respect to the resume only. If your resume is not properly structured, then you will not get chance to sit in the case interviews and the guesstimates. So how your resume actually read? Typically, the consultant cannot spend more than 30 seconds in your resume. In that 30 seconds, if you highlight your key accomplishment, then you will be shortlisted. Format of resume should be textual only. No graphics, no diagrams, no colors, no fonts, no graphics should be there. Even photograph should not be there. But length should be 1 page only, and it should not be overcrowded. It should have minimum 6 components: personal detail, academic achievements, education, position of responsibilities, and certifications if it is there, and lastly, extracurricular activities. So these are the mandatory 6 components should be there in your resume. And the last and most important is it should be tailored as per the job profile. Suppose Bain and company is visiting your campus and they are actually requiring finance-related people, then financial practices should be highlighted in your profile. If suppose you highlighted marketing strategies or suppose HR-related practices, then straight away you will be disqualified. So that keyword should be there in your resume. Now, how you can make it impressive? These are the practical tips on the screen. Either you can use STAR approach or either you can use CAR approach. STAR means situation, task, action, result. CAR means context, action, and result. In India, we are using STAR approach, but in European or Australian countries, we are using CAR approach. So how you can devise the point? Whatever the bullet point you are mentioning, you need to add numbers also. Suppose you did a particular task. Why you did a particular task? What was the action you have taken? And what was the result in terms of numbers or percentages? Like, let me explain. Suppose as a president, you arrange 10 different events in one financial year. What was the variety of events and what was the outcome? Whether it has increased engagement level, more participation, converting the networking opportunities to convert those speakers into recruiter, something impact you need to showcase along with the duration, along with the number. That is called a STAR approach. But don't mention more than 5 bullet points. Don't mention in a paragraph. Only bullet points should be there, but maximum 5 bullet points for one company, for one role should be there. And each bullet point should be not more than 2 sentences. I repeat, each bullet point should not be more than 2 sentences, and each bullet point should quantify your biggest achievement. So biggest achievement at the come first, then second biggest, then third biggest. In the reverse chronological order, you need to mention it. And every bullet point should be started with action and power verbs like drove, led, orchestrated, executed, coordinated, or consulted. These kind of action verbs should be used before starting the line. If you ever work with a consultant of big 3, big 4 firms, you can mention those keywords. But avoid writing those filler words which is not adding any value. Like you are just a club member, NGO person, or TNP cell member. This will not add any value. And before sitting for the placement, get it reviewed with multiple people. But maximum 5 people should be there to involve yourself for the resume part. Now, what are those 5 people? It can be your Placecom team member. It can be your best friend. It can be your family member. It can be industry professional, or it can be your mentor. But don't get it reviewed by 5 people of same category. Otherwise, you will get confused because every person opinion is different. And lastly, it should be 1 page. If it is 1 page, then it will quickly summarize your skills. So that are the top practical tips for which you can make your resume impressive. Now I will share the touch point as a recruiter. So these things will not be taught by anyone. So I am sharing these tips from a recruiter perspective. What recruiter actually evaluate your profile? They will check your analytical problem solving skills, like what type of diverse problem you have solved it. Because as a consultant, you can work in any problem: supply chain, marketing, sales, HR, or suppose pharmaceuticals, banking, financial sector, or FMCG. Diversity should be there in your profile. Brand companies, if you worked in the internship as a brand company like EY, Deloitte, then this will give you 5% additional weightage. You have to showcase your leadership potential like president, vice president. This will give certain weightage in your profile. If you work in any society, suppose in the first year you are a junior committee member, in second year you become a senior committee member, or in third year, suppose you become the president or vice president or consulting director, then this will showcase your career progression. Then most important is unique selling proposition. How you are in the top 5% of those candidates. Like suppose you are the academic topper, or you got scholarship, or suppose you are the winner of the case competition, or suppose you are associated with the NGO or social community work. This will add a lot of credibility. This will stand you in the top 5% of the applicant. That is called as USP. If you work in international projects offered by Enactus or suppose 20 degrees consulting, then this will add 5 to 10% additional weightage. Or if you have any kind of exposure which meant for FMs, foreign countries, MNCs, then this will add more value. Don't mention those technical jargons which has no significance. Suppose you are a computer science engineer, but you are applying for Bain Company, which is dealing with financial practices, then C, C++, Java, .NET or AI, ML will not add any value. They don't understand this. So don't mention those technical jargons. And don't make it crowded. It should be clean and easy to read. And lastly, it should be tailored so that the recruiter can fetch those keywords in the initial 30 seconds. So that are the touch points from the recruiter perspective. Let me show you the sample resumes. So the first sample is on the screen. This sample is a poor category of resume, means bad or worse category. Why? Because this candidate has used tick mark. As per industry standard, you should have to use bullet point, but tick mark should not be used. And number of bullet points should be not more than 5. And thus this person didn't use the star format. Read the line. Develop and drive new business in finance, France and India. Now, if you go through this particular line, you will not get any information. What type of business? What this business is meant for? What was the actionable item? It is nothing mentioned. So that's why it is a poor category resume. Let me show you another resume which is better than the previous one. It is better than previous one, but still it is not the best. So I can say it is a medium category of resume because it is overcrowded. Have a look on this. On the left side, you are not getting any ample space. But on the right side, you have an ample space. This is an issue of symmetry. It's the same thing, just like if someone send you lengthy, bulky paragraph over WhatsApp, you will always face difficulty in reading that bulky paragraph. That's why it is not appreciated. Now let me show you the best category of resume. It is on the screen. Now you can see there is ample space on the left, ample space on the right, and bullet points are beautifully crafted with the help of star approach. And most important is it is less than 5. And each bullet point is less than maximum 2, you can say 2 sentences only. That's how you can create a resume which can add impact and stand out from the competition. Okay, so that was about the resume part. Now let me start about the case part. So there are 3 statements are there: case statement, case interview, and case competition. First, I will discuss about case statement. Case statement is a business problem which is being asked during the interview, and this is based upon testing your problem solving skills. Like suppose revenue of restaurant is falling, how you can improve it. Or suppose due to COVID, world economy goes down, how you can improve it. So this case statement is actually a business problem which interviewer will provide you, and you have to solve within 30 to 90 minutes. I repeat, 30 to 90 minutes. And you have to solve in a structured manner and followed by the recommendation. This case interview will be used as an elimination criteria so that they can find the right talent for their organization. So in the recruitment process, after shortlisting in the CV, the next round is a case interview, and you have to solve the case. And the case is basically your business problem. There is one more term also associated with case competition, which is very different from case interview. In case competition, you are competing in a team, and your team is minimum 2 members to maximum 4 members. But now the duration has been increased. Minimum 1 day, maximum 7 days. And now as you are working in a team, so data will be increased, and you have to compete with them. You have to compete with them. And most important is you should present the data now to a jury panel. And now your jury panel consists of 3 to 5 members. And sometimes you will be required to present the solution in the form of PowerPoint presentation. You will be given 10 minutes and you have to present along with your Q&A part. So whenever you are competing in an event, case competition will be used. And based upon the outcome, when you win this particular case competition, either you will get monetary benefits or you will get trophy, or sometime you will be awarded as PPI or PPO. That is pre-placement interview offer or pre-placement offer. So that's how case interview is different from case competition. Now, when you are appearing in selection process, then case interview will be used rather than the case competition. Any doubts so far? Okay. Now, coming to approach, how you can solve it. So there are a couple of cases are there, and these cases are profitability, response to competition, market entry, merger and acquisition, valuation, growth strategy, pricing strategy, or it can be valuation related to private equity or venture capital. So many type of cases are there, and the most important cases which are being asked during the interview is your profitability, market entry, and growth strategy. These three cases are frequently asked during the interview. I got one question in the chat window. Let me open it. Case studies and the guesstimate. I will explain it. I haven't started the guesstimate part. So case study is basically the business problem, and you have to analyze in detail based upon any type of the case which is presented on the, is flashing on the screen. Like your case study will be based upon any of these framework, and you have to solve it in detail. Guesstimate I will cover up at after 5 minutes. So how you can approach to solve the case? There are 3 steps involved. First, you need to understand the problem statement and ask the questions. If there is doubt, you can clarify it. But maximum 3 questions you can ask in the beginning. Don't ask multiple questions. Maximum 3 questions will be asked. Once the problem statement is clarified and the answers is provided to you, then you have to navigate the flow of the case in a structured manner. So once the framework has been built up, you have to structure your thoughts and solve one by one in a particular steps. And then once it is solved, you have to provide the recommendations and summary. But the recommendation should not consume more than 2 minutes. So in 2 minutes, you have to quickly wrap up by giving the recommendations. So that's how you can solve the case. Now, how you will be evaluated? These are the parameters on which you will be evaluated. First of all, you need to understand about the opening of the statement. How you can open up the statement, and if there is any problem, then you can ask the question. But your quality of questions always matter. If you are silly questions, then your marks will be deducted. And how you can solve in a structured manner, that is a flow of the case, that will be evaluated. If there is a mathematical calculation involved, you will have a separate weightage. But most important is your final recommendation weightage. So you cannot say that if there are 4 steps, you will be having a 25% equal weightage. The answer is no. The answer is straight away no. It depends upon the nature of the case. It depends upon the recruiter. It depends upon the interviewer also. Now, how you can become master in this solving the cases? So clarify the statement. Until you don't have clarity, don't start the case. Don't ask silly questions, and practice between the group. One person can become a case partner, one person can become an interviewee, and one person can become an observer. But don't give one word answer, just like yes or no. Always give 1 sentence or 2 sentence answer, but make sure you should continuously interact with the interviewer so that discussion will be on the track. So these are the practical tips which you need to follow in order to become master in the cases. I got one question here, Rita. If we have given the case of filing profits, then it is okay to follow the basic approach to decreasing the cost and increasing. Absolutely correct, Arpita. You have to follow the profitability framework. So profit is equal to revenue minus cost. So either analyze revenue, either you have to analyze cost. Definitely, absolutely correct. So that is about the case solving approach. Let me explain about the next part, that is your guesstimate. Okay, so what is guesstimate? The guesstimate word says that you have to guess and estimate. There are 2 different words are connected with each other. Guess and estimate means you have to make a guess while estimating something. Means you have to estimate something by making your assumptions. मीन्स किसी डेटा को आप बिना डेटा के आपको अपने आप ही गेस करना है, that is called as guesstimate. And this is frequently asked in the consulting interview. Just like any questions can be asked. Just like suppose how many coffee cups are being sold in your DTU campus? How many students are currently attending the classes? How many, you can say, burgers are getting sold in McDonald's? Or suppose how many people you have interacted with over last year? Or suppose how many, you can say, people have taken the COVID vaccine right now in the Delhi city? That can be, question can also be asked. So how you can solve it? So you can solve in a structured manner. First, you need to clarify the statement. Is there any initial data has been provided? If it is not, then you can ask the question. But focus on the elimination. First, you need to eliminate the impossible categories. Just like suppose if someone asks you, you have to calculate, suppose how many lipstick get consumed in a particular day. Then by default, you have to consider female population because male don't apply the lipstick. That's how you have to attack the guesstimate. Eliminate those options which is not at all possible. Then you can apply rural split, urban split, gender split, or suppose age split or income split. So any point you can apply, and then you can eliminate those options. With the help of the final count, that will be your answer. So you have to analyze how you can apply those particular split, and then accordingly you can solve the guesstimate. What are the tips and tricks involved here? First of all, you need to ask the question from interviewer. Shall I have to count on a normal day or on a peak days? Suppose you have to count the number of people on a particular data. You have to first ask the count. Whether I have to count on a particular day, just like Monday or Sunday, or suppose morning or evening, or suppose peak day or festival day. Because every day, every time, and every occasion matter. That is really important. Because count always vary. Suppose in the new year, or you can say that 12 o'clock in the midnight, people are calling more because they are wishing the new year. Similarly, on the Diwali day, people are sending more text messages over the WhatsApp in order to wish other people as compared to normal day. So days are also important. Timing is also very important. So when you get this data, then only you can proceed further. But in order to solve this guesstimate, you need to remember certain data. So this is the data you need to remember it. This is the Indian data, and without this data, you cannot solve any guesstimate. This data is very, very important. So you should get familiar with the population figures, area figures, rural and urban figures, age split, income split, occupation, others. This data you should remember it. Now let's solve one guesstimate in this class. The question is on the screen. Estimate the number of DTC buses in Delhi. Now tell me how you can solve it. Any idea how you can solve it? That is what happened.
So we can we can have an approach that we can say calculate the number of working population in Delhi using population graphic. Afterwards, we can divide it into say economical bands. Rich people won't use buses. So I think that approach would work.
Okay.
And then economic bands.
And the areas which are connected to the whole bus system, and also the working class, because we have to first identify that how many. Firstly, in Delhi, the frequency of buses is not up to the mark, so obviously the right estimate would be below the thing which we have estimated mathematically. So if the population is around 2 crore for the whole Delhi, and if the EWS category or the poor ones are or the ones who are using buses are around 50 lakhs, let's say, at max, and around one bus can accommodate around 30 to 40 people. So roughly I'm guessing 5,000 as I wrote.
Okay, any other person want to contribute here?
So can't we ask the interviewer about the brand, like what kind of DTC buses he's asking for, metro or for the people, so that we can reduce the stats?
Okay. Okay, fine. Let's solve the case now. So hope you are able to see my blank Excel screen.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so let's start solving the case. Okay, so first of all, you need to ask the question from the interviewer, or you have to consider certain assumptions. So what assumptions you can consider? So you have to consider that in the bus, only working population is traveling. Only working population actually are using the buses. Okay, students are not using because they have their own school buses. Senior citizens are not traveling, so you have to consider only working population to be considered. Second, what are the buses which are running on the road? Means operational buses should be counted. Dead buses or faulty buses should not be counted. Otherwise, complications will happen. Third is, you have to calculate the count of the buses on a normal day, on a normal weekday. So you can ask the interviewer which weekday you can consider. By default, suppose Monday is having the peak day, so you can consider normal working day as a Monday. And you have to also consider how many seats of buses are in a bus are there. Suppose there are total 50 seats are there in a bus. So these are the assumptions you need to consider. Okay. Now most important is the data. So the first data you need to remember is what is the population of Delhi. So the population of Delhi is actually 2 crore. That you need to remember it. Okay. And in Delhi, you have two types of buses. Private buses are also there. DTC buses are also there. But the question says you need to calculate the number of DTC buses are there. So let's solve. So let's start now. So first of all, you need to start with here. So you have to calculate number of people using buses in Delhi. Okay. So number of people uses buses in Delhi. Now you have to bifurcate the people here. So how you can bifurcate? So there are three categories will be formed. First is your children. The second category will be your working population. And third will be your senior citizen. As I mentioned earlier, three types of people will travel in the bus. Okay. Now, you should not take children because they have their, you can say, school buses. Senior citizens generally don't prefer to travel in the DTC buses because they are not moving here and there. So you need to consider only working population only. Let's focus on working population in detail. Under working population, now what you have to do here is, let's bifurcate the age also. So children means 0 to 15 years. And senior citizen is suppose 65 to 100. Suppose life expectancy is 100 years. And working population, suppose you have, you can say 16 to 65 years. 16 to 65 years. That is the age bracket I am considering. Now, working population, you need to divide under income split. So under income split, you have, suppose, low income, then you have middle income, and then you have high income. Three types of people are there who are earning based upon the income under working population. Okay. Now, let's assume that high income people are actually not traveling via bus. Let me make it as a red color, not yellow color. Yeah, orange color I am making. High income people are not preferring to travel via DTC bus because they prefer their own vehicle or you can say their taxis, or they can prefer via other, you can say, mode of communication. High income people don't generally prefer. So let's take the stats. So 40% people in Delhi are actually low income, and 40% of the people are also having middle income category, and high income are actually basically 20% of the people category. And let's deep dive into low income, middle income only. In low income, you have people have three options to travel. First is bicycle, then you have buses, and then they also have metro. They don't have the capacity to buy two-wheeler as well as four-wheeler. That's why I am considering bicycle, bus, and metro only. Similarly, for middle income, they can travel via two-wheeler, they can travel via bus, and they can travel via metro also. Clear? High income don't travel via bus, so don't need to go into this particular detail. Let's take the percentage. If you go by the total population of Delhi, so rarely 20% of the people will travel via metro, because shorter distance metro is cheaper, longer distance metro is very costly. They can't afford it. Similarly, they can travel via bicycle for the shortest distance only, but for the longer distance bus is cheaper, because for buses the biggest longest distance fare is around 15 to 20 rupees only. That's why they prefer via buses travel. So 60% people are traveling via buses only. Coming to the middle income, in the middle income, as they can afford, so most of the people prefer to travel via metro, 40%, 30% via bus, and 30% they can afford via traveling via two-wheeler. Okay. So far, any doubt, please do let me know. So you have to consider this bus part only. Make it as I'm making as a green, and I'm making as a green. So we need to consider this much population only. Any doubt?
Sir,
to let me know.
Sir, why haven't we considered car users in middle income category?
Because they can't afford the car. Because fuel prices are very high right now. Why should I consider car? You have to give the very practical answer. Nah, middle income means they are able to survive just whatever they are earning. That much amount they can spend on other things also. What is their main priority? Their main priority is to save the money for their family, and you can say have other priorities, which is very important, rather than traveling. So they generally prefer via bus, two-wheeler, or metro. Or if you want, you can consider 10% of the population to travel via Uber or Ola. But they cannot prefer to purchase, suppose, you can say car. Okay?
Sir, we are considering car users as rich class.
Yeah, I am considering as a rich class only.
Okay, sir.
That's why I have eliminated complete high income. And I have taken these stats based upon the total number of vehicles in Delhi. Okay?
Okay.
So what about the cheap services like Uber bikes and stuff?
You can consider two-wheeler, and two-wheeler automatically those people will come up.
Okay, sir, but like two-wheelers, weren't you considering those who can afford to buy a vehicle like two-wheeler or something?
So two-wheeler I mentioned in the middle income, already 30%.
Right.
Okay, someone has mentioned the chat window EV, electrical vehicle. Electrical vehicle is very costly, so high income people can afford it. Not by middle income. It's very, you can say, very costly. If you want, then consider, I can consider this as a car also. No problem. So car, you can mention 10%. Uber, Ola, or suppose private vehicle or personal vehicle, 10% people are actually traveling. And suppose 30% people are traveling via metro. Let's take the car also. No problem. But 30% people definitely must travel via bus. Okay. Now, how you can calculate the people? So what is the total population is there? 2 crore population was there. Now, how you can calculate number of people traveling via buses in Delhi? So you have to calculate, first is 40% and 60%, 0.4 multiplied by 0.6 plus 40 and 30 multiplied. So 40 multiplied by 60%. That is the total population is coming up. Put in the bracket for this total working population. Then you have to multiply with 40% of working population. If you compare with the age bracket, it comes out to be 40%. 0.4 multiplied by total population 2 crore. That comes out to be 0.384. 0.4, let me verify once again. 0.4, 0.6 plus 0.4 into 0. Wait a minute. 0.3, sorry, this is 30%.
So you have multiplied points for 2 times.
No, sorry. 3. That is. Yeah, now it is correct. Let me explain how I did that. So, bus into lower income. So, 0.4 into 0.6 plus middle income 40% into 30%. If I take the total, you will get working population. But working population is just 40% of total population. If you exclude children and senior citizen. So, that comes out to be 40%. Multiplied by 2 crore, it comes out to be 0.288 crore. This is the population who are actually traveling via bus. This is the population traveling via bus. Okay, so population, I am writing here, population traveling via bus. Now suppose you have to calculate buses. How many buses are there? That will be equal to, now you have to consider how you can calculate the buses. This is the total population traveling via bus. Multiplied by, convert 1 crore into number. So 100 lakh, then 1000, then 100. So 2,88,000, 2,88 crore, 2 crore 88 lakh. No, 2,88 crore. Let me tell you, 28 lakh 80,000. Sorry, 28 lakh 80,000 will come up. Okay, so these are the total number of people actually traveling via bus. Now, how many people are actually traveling via bus at the same time? This is the total population who are actually traveling via bus. Now you have to calculate how many people are traveling in the bus right now. This is the total market segment, but these entire people are not traveling at the bus at the same time because everybody traveling in a bus in a different time. So let's assume 10% of the people are traveling at the same time. 10% of the people traveling at a given time. So it comes out to be 2,88,000. Okay, these are the people are traveling by bus at a given instant. I will write down here population by bus by given time. Let me write down here. Now you have to convert this population into buses. So in the buses, how you will do that? Total population divided by 50, because in a bus you have 50 seats are there. So you will get 5760. This is the total buses. Now in Delhi you have two type of buses, private and the DTC buses. Let's take assumption that 30% private and 70% DTC. So DTC buses is equal to 70% of this one. 0.7. It comes out to be 4032. So 4032 is your final count. Any doubt so far? Please do let me know.
Sir, what is the logic behind assuming 10% people travel at the same time? Because once they go to the office and once they come back, they travel 2 times in the bus on a particular day. We assume that. How did that 10% came up?
Sorry, repeat once again.
Sir, I am asking what is the logic behind choosing that 10% people travel at the same time in a bus?
Because not every person will travel in the bus at a given instant.
Yes, sir.
So everybody is traveling at a given time. Some people are about to travel from home, some people are traveling, some people are waiting for the bus, and some people already reach at their destination. That's why I have taken 10%. You got my point? मतलब
Yes,
आपके
sir.
बस में ट्रैवल करने का टाइम अलग है, आपके पड़ोसी का अलग है, आपके पेरेंट्स का अलग है, और आपके रिश्तेदारों का अलग है. सबके सब एक साथ थोड़ी ट्रैवल करेंगे. आप
Yes,
तो
sir.
आप बस का वेट कर रहे हो, ट्रैफिक डिपो के नीचे बस आने में टाइम लगेगा, जब वहां से कोई बस का उतरेगा तो आपको जगह मिलेगी. सारे के सारे लोग बस में कहाँ ट्रैवल करते हैं एक साथ?
Yes, sir. That's what I was saying. Once they go to their office as they are working professional, and once they come back to their home, these are the two times when they usually travel in the bus.
No.
How
No. In afternoon also people are also traveling. Night also people are traveling. Who said that?
Okay, sir.
You suppose you are traveling at 8 o'clock in the morning, but rest of the people are working in the afternoon also, or they are traveling back in the night also. You cannot say it like this, na? Buses
Yes,
are
sir.
traveling 24/7. So some people are traveling at the night also. Some people are working in evening shift or night shift.
Okay, sir.
So who is asking EV again and again? Please unmute yourself, please. Yeah, who was asking EV part? Please unmute yourself. Not sure who is giving the question. Ritul, can you please unmute yourself? Okay, I'm not answering this question because I already explained a couple of times about the buses, about the car, about the EV. Either you can unmute, please ask the question. Okay, so that was about the guesstimate part. Let me go back to the slide mode once again. So I hope the first guesstimate is clear to you. Do you want to practice more? Shall I present the next guesstimate?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please, sir.
Okay, great. So the next question is on the screen. Very interesting question. You have to estimate the number of Google searches on a given day. बताओ कैसे करोगे इसको? एक दिन में कितने गूगल पे सर्च होने हैं बताओ?
Worldwide or India?
पूरा वर्ल्ड. पूरा वर्ल्ड.
In English.
Whole world you have to consider. Anyone would like to
सबसे पहले तो सबसे पहले we'll filter out the nations and the areas where internet facilities are not available, and secondly we'll consider those areas where students are in higher population.
Sorry, come again.
So we'll eliminate those areas where internet facilities are not available.
Okay, absolutely correct. Facility is not available. Absolutely correct.
So first we are going to consider like from which web browser it's
We will
search. Like if someone is searching from Mozilla Firefox using Google searches, and other person is searching from Google Chrome and Google searches. So we have.
How does it matter? How does the browser matter? Tell me. Either you can use Netscape, Internet Explorer, Google. You have to count the Google search also. Now, why you are considering browser as a factor?
Sir, first we'll consider
in
the
China
population of the world, and then we'll consider how much population is using the internet. And
Absolutely
out of
correct.
those,
Can you
whose
share your name? Can you share your name?
Sir, Piyush Kumar. My name is Piyush Kumar.
Piyush, you are absolutely right. Absolutely right. Bang on. Thank you so much for giving this wonderful answer. Let me share you the Excel sheet so that I can solve this because I don't have so much time left now. Let me open the Excel sheet for you. Are you able to see the screen? Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me open the blank sheet.
Yes, sir.
Let me open the blank sheet for you. Okay. So let's solve the case now. So you have to estimate the total number of Google searches are there. You have to first remember the total population of the world. So the total population is equal to 7 billion. Total population is 7 billion. Okay. Now in that 7 billion population, first of all, you need to include those countries which Google is not working. So what are those countries you have there? You have to subtract the China, because China is not, you can say, not having accessibility of the Google, as well as North Korea, where Google is completely banned. So you have to eliminate these two countries. You have to eliminate these two countries. So total population of China is, suppose, how much? Any idea? Any guesses?
1.4 billion.
So 1.4 billion.
Others? And one more country is also there. African countries are also there. Few African countries are also there. Okay, African countries are also there. So 1.4 billion is the population of this. 1.4. Sorry, 1.4 and 0.3 is for the you can say North Korea, and 0.3 for the few African countries. So total comes out to be 2 billion. So 2 billion you have to subtract it. So what is eligible? So eligible will comes up 2 billion. Sorry, 7 minus 2 comes out to be 5 billion. Okay, total is 5 billion. Now in that 5 billion, you need to apply with income split. You have to apply with income split. Not income split. You have to apply via accessibility and inaccessibility based upon the income split. So income split, suppose you have low income, medium, upper medium, and upper. Or you can say rich, you can consider it. Now let's take assumption, each are 25%. Each are 25%. So lower income people don't afford smartphone as well as laptop or desktop. That's why they cannot make Google search. But rest of the people can afford smartphone also as well as laptop or desktop. So take 75% of this 5 billion. So out of this, it comes out to be 0.75 multiplied by 5 billion. It comes out to be 3.75 billion. Okay, 3.75 billion are the people who can access the internet. Now you have to proceed further. Out of the 3.75 billion people, how many are actually using Google? Because internet search engines are multiple in the world. You have DuckDuckGo also there, you have Yahoo also there, and you have also, you can say, Google is also there. Yeah, but Google percentage is very high in the market. It comes out to be 85% is there. So take for Google population, for Google eligibility, it comes out to be 85% of this. So 0.85 multiplied by 3.75. It comes out to be close to 3.2 billion. 3.2 billion. That is a Google eligibility. Now you have to divide into the population of age year-wise group. So let's divide into, you can say, population. In that terms of the population, you can divide it 0 to 10, 11 to 20 years, then 21 to 30 years, then 31 to 40 years, then 41 to 50 years, and then 51 to 100 years. 51 to 100 years. sorry, 11 to 20. And this format is coming in different manner. Wait a minute. I'm not sure what is happening. I'm writing in like this. Again, it is coming in date format. Wait a minute. Just give me 1 second. Okay, now it is correct. So 0 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 50, and 51 to 100. Now, who are the population actually using the Google? 0 to 10 and 51 to 100 are actually not using it, Google it. They don't use it because children are not using and seniors people are actually not using it. So what is the fraction of population out there? 10, and suppose life expectancy is 100 years. So these are just 40% of the people who are actually using the Google. 40% of the people are actually using the Google. So take 40% of this, 3.2, that is comes out to be 3.2 billion, comes out to be 1.275 billion. Or 1.3 billion population are actually using the Google by the people. So 1.3 billion are the total population who are actually using the Google. Now, this and this you can exclude it. No need to go into that. Now assume the behavior of those users. 11 to 20 years of user in a given day, they are actually making, on an average, they are making actually 4 Google searches. 11 to 20, 21 to 30 years of people are heavy usage customers. They are making minimum 20 searches in a particular day. 31 to 40 are working professionals. They are making 10 searches in a particular day. Whereas 41 to 20 is the similar category of 11 to 20. They are making 4 searches in a day. Based upon the behavioral trait, you have to identify it. Now you have to multiply this frequency with their target population. So first you write down the population here. So assuming for equal percentage is there. So 1.3 multiplied by 0.4. So divide into, you can say, I'm sorry, 0.4, not 0.4, 0.25. Divide into equal weightage. Okay. And multiplied with their frequency. How many searches they are making in a particular day. Add up, how much is coming up? 12.1125 billion. Now you have to multiply into this is a final answer, na? 12.11 or 12 billion searches are happening in a particular given day. This is your final answer. Is it clear? Any doubt on this? Let me explain, just quickly summarize it. Total population of the world was 7 billion. Out of that, I have excluded 3 type category of people who are actually not having the accessibility of the Google. So China, North Korea, African, 2 billion was subtracted, but was eligible 5 billion. Out of this 5 billion, I have taken the income split here. So lower category people don't access the smartphone and laptop as desktop. So I have taken 75% of that. So this is the eligible people who can made a search, but 3.75 are the total search. If you talk about the Google, it is 85% of this. It comes out to be 3.2. Then I divided into the age split. So 0 to 10 and 41 to 51 to 100 are not able to use it. So I have straight away removed this. So eligible is 40%. So 40% of this is 1.3 billion. Under that, I have divided equally into 25% each and multiplied with their frequency. How many searches they are making in a particular day. Multiplied this and add up, you will get 12 billion. So 12 billion is the final answer. Clear? Any doubt in this? And this was the question asked in the McKinsey interview. And very few people are able to solve this guesstimate. And if you practice it, definitely you can crack that thesis. Now, before winding up the session, let me go back to the previous slide.
So just a quick question. Like, I'm a newbie to this whole world. So like we have to remember all those data, like the population of North Korea and all stuff. We have to remember all.
No need to remember. Just assume China you have to remember, but North Korea and African countries you can ask from the interview and take the assumption.
Okay, sir.
See, the final answer doesn't matter. Your approach is always matter. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So before winding up the session, let me share the resources with you, which you can refer it and become expert. So any book you can refer, Case in Point, World Guide to Case Interviews, Case Interview Crack, and you can refer to the Consulting Club Case Books, which is being released by ISB, IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Harvard. Or you can refer any online courses, or you can watch the videos, which is released by the Victor Cheng, Madman, and the Shark. So these are the best resources available with you on the screen, and that's enough for any practicing, and you can crack any interview. With that note, I am ending the session. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Or if you want to connect with me in the future, these are my coordinates on the screen. You can connect with me on the LinkedIn, as well as my email ID is on the screen. Now, stage is open for the final Q&A. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Sir, can we ask questions on LinkedIn?
Please ask in chat box. That would be better.
You can ask right now also, or you can ask in future also. It's up to you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, any questions?
Any other question? Anyone like to ask? Please ask.
Yeah, I am not the right person to answer this, Kabir. What the different pay scale in tech and on tech? What is on tech you are asking? On tech or non tech you are asking?
Non-technology consulting.
Okay, non-tech. Okay. So tech, it depends upon the company to company. Suppose if you applied for Microsoft, then you will get 20 lakh starting salary. Or suppose if you apply for McKinsey, they can offer you 15 lakh salary also. It depends upon the company to company. There is no set agenda for that. Yeah, definitely you can do the internship for consulting. Definitely it's the right answer. Huge.
And so as a second year undergrad student and like third year, say we have those internship season. So how should we prepare in this given year for internships related to consultancy?
So you have to prepare these mock books which I have shared with you. That is the only answer.
Okay.
If you practice it, then only you will be able to crack any interview. Yeah, any other questions? The relevant internship will depend upon the role you are applying. Okay, I think there are no genuine questions. Rifat, can you take it forward now?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
on behalf of Roundtable, thanks for taking the time to speak to us today on the crucial topic of consulting. Sir, your knowledge and experience on case interviews and how we can shape a profile to grab the top opportunities have been undoubtedly insightful and have been very helpful. Seeing the responses we have been getting, the session was a great success, and your wise words have inspired all of us.
Yes.
Thank you so much. We are looking forward to our further acquaintance and interaction. Thank you.
You're welcome, and wishing you
Thank you
all
so
the very
much, sir.
best in your future endeavor. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much,
sir.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.